pastor of Remnant Ministries. Did I say that?
Yeah.
It's right there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's literally right there. It's crazy. So it was not a coincidence that Akira, son, Watanabe, our carp leader, he actually connected with him, and they both felt like, wow, we're both trying to educate about purity. And this is actually, I heard something special that this is like your anniversary of like when your life transformed.
Yeah.
Today is like a really,
Amen.
I think like a spiritual transformation of your life.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna hear more from him. So let's all rise and welcome up Stacy Julian.
Thank you. Thanks, you guys. Thanks. Oh my gosh. You guys are so awesome. And so are you. Thanks. He said, I like my shoes. She said, are fresh. The fresh kicks. I was telling them yesterday, I said, I used to be a big shoe collector before I got married, and I'll share some of my testimony with you guys in a little bit. And I had like a closet full of Jordans and Air Maxes, and that was like my life, right? And I got married and I had kids, and my daughter had to eat, right? And I had to buy diapers, and so I'm like, okay, no, I probably won't buy Jordans that much, but and so I had this stack full of shoes in my closet, and my wife would every day be like, oh my gosh, you have so many shoes, and I'd be like, I don't have anything to wear. Right? And she would always tell me about this. And just recently, with the past 3 or 4 years, being a youth pastor and a young adults pastor, there are times where a single mom wouldn't have enough money to buy something for their son, and just so happens that he would be my size. And so I would go in my closet and I would say, okay, which ones don't I wear the most? You know, which ones don't I really? And God told me something. He says, man, there was someone who came by the church and they said, hey, I bought a new TV and I want to donate my old TV. It's a big TV. And I was like, cool, all right. And so the lady came back and it was like a big, like Sony, like big TV, but it was big both ways, you know, so it weighed like 200 or 300 pounds. And so we struggled getting it in. And I said, man, you know what? God wants us to give him our best. He wants us to give him our best. And so I was messing around. I was just talking to the TV, man. We just wanted to just give it to God. And I said, you know what? God really wants our best. He says, yeah, he really does. And I said, okay, well, take this TV back and bring your new TV and give that one to the church. All right? And so I kind of lived by that, you know. So I caught myself and I said, you know what? I'm going to give him the best that I have. My favorite shoes, I'm going to give out. And one time this kid came up and I gave him 3 pairs of shoes. And as he's walking out because his mom's picking him up, I'm like I lost my dog, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, my shoes. But it's something that's replaceable. You know, it's something that's replaceable, and it's something that is going to change his life, something that he's going to remember me for always as being someone who's loving, who's caring, someone who's compassionate, you know, some of these true love things right here. And it's just so awesome to be a part of what God's doing in Las Vegas. And so this is probably like my 4th or 5th purity conference that I've done. I think our last one, we had about, 90 kids. We had our ceremony, and there was probably about 350, 400 people there. And so it was a chance for me to just again show the love of God. And every time I get a microphone, I come up and I say, you know what, God is good, you know, because you guys will learn a little bit about a lifestyle that I used to live before. 18 years ago today, 1999, August 19th is when I walked into this church. I was high on drugs. I was living a lifestyle that wasn't pleasing God. No intentions at all to learn anything. My brother gave me a ticket, so I thought he had bought it. So he says, hey, come to this play. And I felt bad, and I was like, you know what, I always tell him I'll go. So I ended up going. and I'm going to share to you guys what happened to me that night. But before we go there, you guys, can we play just one icebreaker game really quick? I love icebreakers. Awesome, cool. I don't know if you guys ever played this, but it's you against so you'll back up, so you'll find someone and you put your backs to each other, okay? I don't know if you guys ever did this. And then you have like a number. And so say if your number's 4 and you put 4 out, or say it's 9. I can't do it because but let's say it's 9, right? And so you're like this, right? And then the person behind you, maybe theirs is 3. And you got to turn around and you guys got to count each other's fingers. And the first person that comes up with the right answer wins, and that the person who loses has to sit down. And then we'll have a champion at the end of it. Okay, is that cool? You guys ever played that before? Okay, so if you want to mess them up and you want to go something like this, right, where they actually have to count, like, oh, 1, 2, wait, hold on, that. So that's kind of like my strategy. It's not cheating. The kids at my church, you cheated. I'm like, no, I didn't. I'll kind of like do something like this, and they're like, what is that? And I'm like, it's a 7.5. They're like, no. And so you guys, it has to be whole numbers. And so what we'll do is we'll do round 1. So you'll go back to back, maybe against the person next to you, or if you want to get up, but you'll definitely have to go out. And then if you lose, just take it as a loser, and just sit down, and then we'll go. All right. So let's stand up really quick. Let's find someone who's competitive, right? And you guys turn back to back, and then I'll count us down. I'll count us down. So does everyone have a partner? Who needs a partner? Okay. All right. Okay, looks like, so back to back. Okay, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. You got, hold on, you guys, hold on really quick. You have to count your fingers and their fingers, all right? So it's a total of how many fingers are being pointed, okay? So it's you and your partner. You have to count your fingers and their fingers and then say how many, all right? If you tie, you gotta do it again, okay? Sorry, I didn't explain it too good. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, losers, have a seat, losers. You guys aren't really losers, all right? You just, I don't want to say you're, so all right, so half of you guys should have lost, so now go find someone else and go back to back with them. Round 2. Now remember, you got to count your fingers and their fingers. Their fingers. All right. Does everyone have a partner? Everyone have a partner? Everyone should have a partner, right? Ready? Okay, you ready? Everyone got their fingers ready? You guys look like gangsters right now. Let me tell you that right now. You guys look like gangsters. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay, let's go. Next group. Round 2. You're still in? Oh, all right, here we go. Round 2, go find somebody. What happened? Okay, right here. So what, there's 4 more groups? 3? We got 1 here, 1 there, 1 back here. Oh, yeah, do 3 together. Let's just try it. We'll make new rules up. That's hard. Okay. All right, you guys ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right. So we should have what? Three people left? All right. Let's get the winners. Come right up here in the front. Come right up in the front. All right, we got 2 here, and we got. So you guys come over here. Okay, come. And then you 2 are gonna go back to back right here. Is the girl gonna win? They say girls are smarter. I don't know. You guys, no pressure. So you guys will go back to back, and then you 2 will go back to back. Okay? And then we'll go for the championship. Okay, so you guys are going against each other. Okay. All right. Let's go back to back. Let's get our gang signs ready. Get our gang signs ready. Okay. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
13? 13. It might be 13. Wait, hold on. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13.
Oh, did you win? All right, championships right here. Here goes the championship. Right here. We got 2 guys. There we go. You guys ready? You guys ready? You think you're going to win?
Yes.
You think they're going to win? Yep. Oh my gosh. Here we go, back to back. Back to back. The winner gets Doritos in the bag, all right? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
14.
Oh!
Yeah, 14.
He won. The winner. All right. Good job. Good job. You can get your Doritos in the back. Awesome. Hey, you guys, I wanted to do this icebreaker because I want you guys to think of something. I want you guys to think how fast your mind works. How fast your mind works. I was looking up statistics and it said women make about 35,000 decisions a day, where men, we make more like 20 to 25,000 decisions. That's what you eat, what to wear, how you're gonna comb your hair, what socks you're gonna wear, what are you gonna do? Do I turn here? Should I go down? Should I do this? Should I do that? But we make decisions on the fly. We do them quite often. And so today I want to talk about being pure in our mind, right? Being pure in our mind is kind of where it all starts at. And so I just kind of wanted to just to do that for you guys really quick. But before we start, you guys, I have a question for you guys. And you guys, if Vanna White, can you come back up, Vanna White? Vanna White, yeah. Vanna White, I need your assistance, yeah. You guys know who Vanna White is? Yeah. Okay. It's the Wheel of Fortune lady who turns over the letters. So this is our Vanna White today. But I have a question for you guys. Oh no. What is your definition of purity? One word definition of purity. What is it? So you guys could just spit them out. One word definition of purity. Purity, that's great. Did he win the contest? No. Purity, right? Purity. What's the first, or maybe this, what's the first word that comes to your mind when you hear the word purity? Love, clean, complete, pure, life, stability. Yeah, that's a good one. Peace. Yeah. Unity. Good. Freedom. That's a good one. Water. Purity. Purity. Awesome. That Vanna White, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hey, you know what, you guys? I was thinking about this thing. It's so weird. And you guys will. When Geraldine was doing this, back in the hood, if you saw something like that, everyone is ducking, right? And I don't know, for some of you guys know, they have lasers at the end of guns, and then you guys probably seen like Terminator and stuff like that. like you see something like that in the hood, everyone's ducking, everyone's running. And so he did it. I was like, oh no, oh no. The curator was like, hey, no, it's okay. What's going on? I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought I had a flashback. I'm sorry. But purity, you guys, purity. Awesome. Definition, my little friend Webster, right? He says this. He says purity is spotless, wholesomeness, innocent, and then he says this awesome word is called virtue. Virtue is what I like to use. And virtue, you guys, the definition of that is behavior showing high moral standards. It's a behavior, right? It's a behavior that shows high moral standards. One of my greatest passions is teaching young people like yourselves, not to be like everyone else, not to settle and be like everyone else. There was a commercial back in the days, and you guys were probably still babies, but it was a Gatorade commercial and said, I want to be like Mike. You guys know it? Like Mike, I want to be like Michael Jordan, they're talking about. And it was this little boy, he's watching Michael Jordan play basketball, and he said, I want to be like him. I want to be like him, right? And so often today, you guys, the world portrays an image of what we're supposed to look like, right? If it's on TV or if it's on, I don't know, magazines or even social media, everyone posts a picture of them like they got their makeup on, the hair is done nice, they got the nicest clothes on, and they're like, me, Sunday morning, you know, and it's just like, well, show me you Sunday morning at 7 o'clock when you first woke up. But no one wants to show those pictures. Everybody wants to show the picture where they'll get the likes, will they get the shares, will they get the comments. And that's so like the world. Just, hey, be like everyone else, right? Just go ahead and do what you want to do. But moral standards, you know, to living by higher moral standards isn't, hey, what can I put out there where people will like my picture, will justify me, will make me feel good. Get this emotion of me feeling good, you guys. Emotions is crazy because emotions will lie to you. Especially being pure, your emotions, oh my gosh, he's so fine, look at his chest, he's so big, I love him so much, right? I often, and being a youth pastor, I often get pictures of proms and homecoming and all these dances, right? And I'll get them, and I love them. They're like, oh, Pastor Stacy, look at my boyfriend, and I take them all. I'm like, yeah, because I use it for ammunition. Because 3 months later, I'll pull it out, and I'll say, hey, remember this picture? They're like, oh my gosh, I hate him so much. You don't even know what he did to me. Blah blah blah. And I tell them that when you're ran by emotions and you're led by emotions and you make decisions led by emotions, a lot of times that it'll leave you hurting at the end. And I know God gives us emotions and stuff like that, but you guys, it's a lot better to be led by the Spirit of God. The cleanliness and all that stuff that we had up here a little while ago. But I used to live a lifestyle of following the world. Years and years ago, I graduated. I don't know, maybe you guys. I graduated high school in 1993. So I'm pretty old, and I'm 42 now. But back in the days, that's a lifestyle that I used to live. I wasn't thinking about purity. I was thinking about, I want to be just like everyone else. I want to drive a nice car. I want to go out and just party all the time. And I was satisfying only my self-centered desires, right? I was only satisfying my own desires, just whatever made me happy is what I did, right? And I did it for many years. I got jumped in a gang when I was in 7th grade. 7th grade, I started selling drugs. I was drinking at school, 7th grade, junior high. We didn't have junior high in 6th grade. I'm so glad because I probably would have started a year early, but would drink at school, would do drugs at school. I remember my 7th grade year, my 8th grade year, I sat down right after lunch, and one of my friends was being bullied by these kids in high school. And I sat down and I said, well, where were you at lunch? He's like, I was hiding. I'm like, hiding from what? He said, these guys are going to come and get me. They said they're going to be here, blah, blah, blah. He says, hold my bag. And so he gave me his bag. And sure enough, the principal came in, pulled him out of class, and he got sent. I don't know what he did. They pulled him in class. Parents picked him up. So I had his bag. in 8th grade, so I don't know how old you were in 8th grade, 13 years old, 14 years old, something like that. So I have to go, so I pick his bag up. I'm going, man, this bag is a little heavy. And so I get to my 6th period class, I open it up, and there's an Uzi in there, right, a gun. And so I take it home. The next day, I'm like, dude, I'm not carrying this to school. I'll get in trouble. And he comes in, he tells me, I said, well, what's going on? He says, well, I was getting bullied. I got beat up by these, and so I went and took my dad's gun, and it was loaded. It was ready to go. And I really believe that God allowed him for the principal to come in to save some kid's life that day, because a year later, my 9th grade year, this was in 1989, my best friend got shot in the head at school. Kids came over, there was a gang fight, not even a gang fight, they came over to fight us, they pulled out some guns, and he got shot in the head. I've seen him die right in front of me. So that's the kind of lifestyle I grew up in. Throughout high school, I continued to sell drugs, I continued to sleep with girls all the time, I continued to steal, fight, whatever gratify, whatever like I wanted, I went and got. And if it was through drugs or drug money or women or I was really like fast and not sexually, but I used to run track. And I actually I ran into my track coach last summer, or no, this like in May, at a track event that I was at. He said, man, you had so much potential that you could have been this, or you could have got a scholarship. But he's like, tell me, why you chose not to. I said, I know you. He said, I know you went through things and stuff. And I just kind of shared my testimony with him that wasn't what I was looking for. I was chasing the world. I was trying to make money. I was trying to have this lifestyle of self-pleasure. And so through it, I barely graduated high school. My counselor called me in. It was like 3 days before graduation. He said, you don't have enough credits to graduate high school. I said, what do you mean? We met in December, and you told me, and blah, blah, blah. He said, well, I got your classes back, and you failed one of your English classes. And so I walked back. I said, well, I've been at night school every night. What are you talking about? Just make sure. And I walked back to my class, and it was my night school teacher. And she said, what's wrong? I said, I'm not going to graduate. I'm like 2.5 credits off of graduating. And she said, well, did you tell him you were taking 2 classes of mine? 2 classes? I said, no, because I'm only taking 1. She said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to write you a letter saying that you were in my class on Thursday nights, and we'll give you those 2.5 credits, but you have to come and help me move all my stuff out of, because I'm going to go to a new school next year, and so you have to come back after. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember running and to it. I remember taking them this, and so I barely graduated high school. It wasn't because I wasn't smart, it was because I didn't want to apply myself. And so I get out of high school, I continue to sell drugs and continue to be part of this gang. And I got jumped into this gang that was, I don't know if you guys ever seen a Samoan guy before, but a big Polynesian gang's what we were in. And so early on, they were always the bouncers at the club. So I was always getting to the clubs for free. I was always free drinks, VIP, all this stuff. Every single night, it was always something, had money, had VIP status, all this stuff. And guess what? Every single night I laid in my bed when I got home and I was empty. I would cry myself to sleep. I would tell God he isn't real. I would have thoughts of suicide. But on the outside, everyone see me and said, oh my gosh, I want to be like Stace. He has a nice car. He always has money. He knows everybody. And if you looked at me from the outside, you would think that I had it going on. But in the inside, I was tore up. And it reminds me of when God says that I don't look on the outside, but I look at the inside. I look at your heart. And so I've been through a lot of things. I've been through a lot of mess. I've been through a lot of drive-by shootings. A lot of friends died. Been to a lot of funerals at an early age. And it could have been me. I always tell myself it could have been me. But God, right? But God had a better plan for me. He said, when after I got saved, after I went to that church and gave my life to Christ, I started to live differently. I lost all my friends, and I said, you know what, I want to help out the youth because that's what I messed up. Everything that I messed up, I want to go back and fix. And so God knows the desires of my heart. He opened up a door to do that. And we moved, me and my wife moved to Las Vegas about 11 years ago. And I got plugged in over here at Remnant Ministries, where Randall Cunningham is the senior pastor who played 16 years in the NFL, was MVP, a 3-time MVP. And so I travel with him. I book all his engagements. God allowed me to open doors. I meet people that I never ever thought I would ever meet. And I wouldn't do it if 18 years ago I didn't decide to make a life change, right? 18 years ago I didn't decide to make a mind change that I could easily say it that way. It was a chance for me to make things right. It was a time for me to get a clean slate, I guess you can say. And I knew the lifestyle that I lived was just poor choices after poor choices, poor decisions after poor decisions after poor decisions. And so I met my wife that same year in 1999. I actually met her like 3 months before. I think I met her like in April. And she challenged me to live different. You know, I'd never been challenged before, didn't really care. And so I started to make this life change. My mind, I started to think about things because I always lived just for today. I never thought about tomorrow. I never thought about next month. And so one of my big things that I do now with all my youth is I challenge them, and I challenge you guys here tonight, is to have goals. You know, have a 6-month goal, have a year, 5 years, what you want to achieve. Some of the kids I deal with, I say, you know what, just do a 1-week goal. Like, make a goal that you know that you can, like, say, I'm going to brush my teeth every day for the next week. And when you do it, you're like, oh my gosh, I can check that off. That feels so good. Right? Okay, let's graduate. Let's do something more. Right? Let's do something. Let's do your homework all week. Or let's do, and so I started to make goals for my life. So I'm going to get out of this game. I'm going to go find a job. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. And sure enough, it started to happen. You know, I started to change my mind. There used to be this, I don't even know who was, terrible thing to waste.
Drug commercial.
What was it?
Drugs commercial.
A drugs commercial. Yeah. Yeah. And it's so true because what we put in our minds, you guys, will ultimately come out of us. What we put in ourselves, what we watch, the music that we listen to, the TV shows that we watch, that eventually will come out. I like to say, I told my youth is garbage in, garbage out. If you're constantly filling yourself up with garbage, that's what's going to come out. Right? And so I challenge them, be careful what you think. Be careful what you say. What we allow into our minds will impact whether we will succeed or fail when it comes to staying pure. Have you guys ever put too much like toothpaste out and you gotta try to put it back in? It just doesn't work, right? It doesn't work. It's because what you put in, if it comes out, it's hard to fix it. When you do things or when you say things or I don't know what it might be. It might be right now. Maybe you're struggling with pornography. Let's just put it out there. Maybe some of us go to websites that we're not supposed to go to, right? And that's what we feed ourselves. That's what we feed our minds. And what we feed our minds, eventually that's what's going to come out. Eventually we're going to see someone who's attractive or someone who might be attracted to you. And you're going to say, you know what? Oh my gosh, I can go and fill that void. I can go and get this feeling that I've been waiting for. I can go and do it, and it's okay. We love each other, right? What we put in eventually will come out. So we need to transition the way we think. We have to make better decisions on what we allow ourselves to be entertained by. A lot of us are entertained by multiple things. A lot of us are entertained by movies, entertained by TV shows, entertained by the music. Your guys' generation is a generation, you guys just have things in your ear all day long. And I'm going, oh my gosh, how many times can you listen to a song? And me being a DJ, I was a DJ for many years, and I'm like, I love music, but I can't put it in my ears all day long. I'm like, do they just do that so nobody talks to them?
Yes.
Because we're in a generation now that doesn't want to talk, because I'll just text. I'll just text them. You know, if I want to say, hey, I'm at your house, I'll just text you, hey, I'm at your house, instead of calling and say, hey, man, I'm in the front, hurry up, let's go. It's just like, no, let me just text it. Let me not make conversation with someone. It's just so quick and it's easy, and I get what I want, and God wants us to be relational. He wants us to have relation with people. Being pure, you guys, is going to take being relational. It's going to take having an accountability partner. Someone who's going to tell you you're wrong and you can receive from them. Someone who's going to call you, they know you have something wrong, and they're going to call you at 10 o'clock at night and say, what are you watching? How did it go? How did that date go? What did you do? Right? I tell young adults this all the time. They ask me if they can date. Pastor Stacy, I want to date, you know. Well, what can I do? What can't I do? Everybody wants to get as close as the fire as they can get to without getting burned, right? How close they can get to the gate without falling over, right? So they always ask me, right? What can I do? What can I do? And I tell them, I give them some tips. I say, stay vertical, right? Just don't go horizontal. You go horizontal, you're gonna lose. So stay vertical, right? Don't ever be in a place where it's just you two by yourselves. If they say, well, you know what, we can go back to my apartment, we can watch some movies. No, I can't. I just can't do it. Right? Everybody wants to know how close they can get. I tell teens, and I was sharing with you yesterday, teen dating is like practicing divorce, is what I tell them. And some of you guys are laughing because you know exactly what I mean. Like the picture thing, right? Oh my gosh, I hate him, but I gave my whole body to him. I gave him my mind, my thoughts, my heart, and then he just ruined it and started dating my best friend, right? That's the way it is, and I'm so true to that, and I'll always stay true to that. It's like teen dating is like practicing divorce. And it's so crazy, you guys, because we just kind of have to just it's a renewed thought process that we have to go through. Being pure. It's so hard being pure nowadays because nobody wants to do it. Everybody wants to, it's fun, it's exciting. We live in Sin City, so it doesn't really matter. Everyone expects us to do this, right? And it's like, no, because that's not part of God's standards. I read a study a couple of weeks ago, and it said that 2 out of every 3 TV shows have some kind of sexual content. The world wants us to believe that sex is just harmless. They want us to change the way we think about things, our standards. There's a big medical company in California. They don't have it out here, but it's called Kaiser. Kaiser. They said this. They said 76% of teens said that one reason young people have sex is because TV shows and movies make it seem normal for teens. But you don't think Hollywood knows what they're doing? Right? Wasn't it Hitler who said, whoever captures the youth captures the future? But if we can make them think that it's okay, then we're kind of winning. They had that TV show, The New Normal, where it was the 2 dads and a kid. We just want this to be normal, right? It's so crazy. It's so crazy because there's consequences that come with the decisions that we make sometimes. Consequences, physical consequences, that people can become pregnant. STDs. If I showed you guys, I should have did it. He's like, do you have any pictures? I was like, I'm thinking in my head, I should have showed some pictures of some STDs. That would have been crazy. You guys would have been like, you know what? That's it. I'll just wait till I get married. Right? Because that is not okay. But there is consequences to everything that we do. Emotional consequences would be like guilt, regret, fear, depression, and worry. What we think can be so good when it's not being used for what it was made for, you guys, it can be bad. I taught this before, and I said, I bought McDonald's because young people like McDonald's, right? And so I bought like a quarter pounder with cheese. I bought fries and I bought a big soda. I said, how many of you guys think this is good? And everybody went crazy. I'm like, how many of you guys want McDonald's? And everybody, and it was crazy. They're like, yeah, I love McDonald's, man. That's so awesome. Can I have it? And so I had a blender also up here. And I opened up the quarter pounder with cheese. I'm like, is anyone there? And everyone's like, oh, I want it. And I throw it in the blender, right? And then I get the French fries, and I said, hey, man, you guys have French fries? Like, yeah, and I throw that in the blender. And I'm like, what's French fries without ketchup? So then I put ketchup in there, right? And so I'm like, oh my gosh, a cold soda, it's just like, it's the best. Like, McDonald's has the best Coke. I don't know why, but they have like the best Coke ever. And I poured it in the blender, and then I blended it up. And then I took it out, and I said, you guys, it was so good, right? It was so awesome. It was so good. How many of you guys want to drink it? And I poured it into a cup. I said, well, who wants it now? Everybody was like, get it away from me. I don't want it, right? But it's so true. The same thing about sex, right? It's so true. When we use it for what it's not made for, it's not good. See, and a lot of us and parents will say, don't have sex, don't have sex, don't have sex, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And then we get married and we're like, on our honeymoon, we're like, ew, no, right? But God said, be fruitful and multiply. God gave it to us as a gift that when we use it in its right parameter in the marriage bed, that it is good, right? It is good to multiply. It is good to have peace with yourself. Know who you are. Go find someone who is like-minded and get married and have a family and be able to show that love to your son and your daughter. You showed Matthew 5:48 where it says, be perfect as your heavenly Father perfect, or some translations will say, be holy as your heavenly Father is holy. When I read that scripture, I think of this because it's so hard to be holy and it's so hard to be perfect. But what I think it means, this is what I think it means. I think it means this: be like your Father. Like, be like Him. God wants 100% of us. He doesn't want 10%. He doesn't want 20%. He wants all of us. Every single aspect of our life, He wants. He wants our purity. He wants our minds. He wants our thoughts. He wants our hearts, right? And when we give that thing to Him, we kind of look like Him. I wish I could show you a picture of my son, or my kids. I showed them yesterday, but my youngest son is like, doesn't really kind of like, he looks like me. My wife kind of fight. No, he looks like me. No, he looks like me. And we dress the same. My son is 8 years old. He's got hair, right? and he loves it, right? He has a comb over and he's got a part. Like, I cut his hair. He has a part in his hair. It's all gelled up, and he has his tight jeans on, and he has, his nice shoes on here. And everyone says, "Oh my gosh, that's like you. That's you. That's your mini-me." And my wife says we walk the same. I don't know how we walk the same, but she says we walk the same. But as I start to look at him, as he starts to develop, I start to see, oh my gosh, that is me. The things that he says, he's so funny. He plays jokes on my wife all the time. She's like, "You're so like your dad. Like get out of here." And I'm like, oh my gosh, I know he's in trouble. So, but he's like me in every way because he's my son. He's my child, right? And I want him to be like my daughter is just like my wife. Straight A's, haircut, everything's got to be nice, everything's got to be clean, everything, she picks her clothes out in the morning or at night, so in the morning she can just get ready. She's up early, and me and my sons are like laying down, like till we have to get up, and but our children look like us, right? And I think that's what God wants for us, is when He looks down upon us, He says, man, he looks just like me. And I think if we strive for that every day, we strive to be like that, it'll automatically become just something that we do, a lifestyle that we live. And it all starts in our minds. If we keep our mind on purity, if we keep our mind on doing things that please God, it will happen. What the world wants us to do is totally opposite. The world wants to numb us to the fact that having premarital sex is good. They want us to be numb to it. They want us to think that it's normal. There's a story that I read about these scientists in Antarctica, and there was these wolves that were like killing like all these sea lions and all this. They kept on every night. They would go out, and there was this special pack of wolves in this little region, and so they were trying to capture them to kill them because they wanted to preserve the lives of the sea lions. And so what they did was they got these really, really sharp double-edged swords. And they made like popsicles. One of the sea lions that were dead, they drained the blood out. And they made these popsicles. So they made these big popsicles. They put like a sword in there. And then they made a hole in the ice. And they put it down in the dirt. And they made it so it could stick up. And what they were hoping to do is exactly what it accomplished. But the wolves were going and they would lick the ice. They would lick the ice, lick the ice, lick the ice, lick the ice. And they didn't know, because their tongues became cold and it became numb, but they would lick the ice, and then finally got down to the sword, and that they would lick the ice, and they cut their tongues, and because their tongues were numb, they had no idea that they were still licking the ice, which they thought was ice, was actually the knife, and they some of them bled to death, and the ones that didn't bleed, the scientists followed the blood to where they were, and they captured them, and they killed them. And it's so like the world is they want us to numb. They want to numb us to the things of this world. They want to tell us that it's okay. They want to capture our minds and say, hey, you guys, it's okay because it's on every billboard in Las Vegas. It's on every movie that you watch. It's on every channel that you turn it to. They want to capture our minds to make it think like, hey, this is normal, when it's not normal, right? God made sex for marriage. It was a gift for us to be fruitful and multiply. And so for you guys today, I would simply say that don't be numb to what everyone else says. Don't be numb to what social media says. Don't become numb to the billboards and movies. But be transformed by the renewing of your mind. To be transformed and not being that person. And maybe you're in here today and maybe you're going, oh my gosh, I didn't want to come here and I didn't want to be here. Or maybe you're in here and said, man, I've fallen before and I've had sex, right? And I'm shameful. Maybe you're in here and say, I watch pornography all the time. I lust after men. I see Justin Bieber and I just go crazy. I don't know, right? But maybe your mind's like that today. And it's going to take a transforming of your mind to become a new person. Where you say, you know what, that's the way I want to live. Or maybe you made that choice before to sleep with someone. You say, you know what, I'm not going to do that anymore. Today is a new day. Today's a new day where I'm gonna live that lifestyle that God wanted me to live to. I challenge you guys. If there's nothing better on a wedding night, of course you'll see your husband or your wife come down the aisle or whatever it may be, but it's to go that night and say, man, I've never given my life to anybody, never gave my body to anybody but you. No one wants to go in and say, oh yeah, well, I've done it thousands of times. I was at a conference in San Diego last week, a young adults conference. And so they were talking about relationships, and the young adult pastor him and his wife were talking about relationships, and she said, well, you know, Pastor John, you know, he used to have sex all the time. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, like, why are you just busting him out like that? Like, that's so wrong, right? And he's just sitting there like, and we had the same shoes on. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a sinner because we had the same shoes on. And she said, but I wasn't an angel. I was in the adult film industry for 7 years. And I'm going, oh my gosh, like, this is crazy. And they're up there and they're pastors, but that's what God does. He makes all things new. And so maybe you did make a mistake before. Maybe you have looked at stuff you're not supposed to look at, or said things that you weren't supposed to say. That you still become new. You can change. It's a lifestyle. I changed. It was hard. I had nightmares every single night when I got out of this gang. Every night where I didn't want to go to sleep, I would tell my wife, oh my gosh, I don't want to sleep tonight because I don't want to have these nightmares of people chasing me or whatever it may be. But it was a lifestyle that had to change that. There was still stuff kind of like following it, but I had to get rid of it all. And you can do that. You can go before God. You can go to the celebration, get the rings, and sit and challenge each other as young adults in here. Have accountability partners. Say, I'm not going to let you fall. I'm not going to let you do it. We can't do it by ourselves, you guys. It's so hard. But with each other, we can. Somebody that you can trust. There's a scripture in the Bible where it says, Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Those things think of. Right? It was in Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Think about those things. Don't think about things that have to do with darkness and sin and going out and living the lifestyle of Las Vegas. But think of things that are pure, things that are admirable, honorable. Set your mind on those things. Those things are the things that last, right? I want to thank you guys for having me come out today. I'm just like sitting here looking at you guys, and my heart is filled with compassion. You know, I feel never do I really leave a place like this where I don't cry on the way home. I don't really like seek God for you guys. Like, I'm so grateful that God uses me, continue to use me, even though I have a messed up future or past. And so today, you know, one thing that would really just kind of get me excited is if you just think about that. What are the things in my mind that I can change? What are the things that I have control over that I can change? And that is the things that you think about. The things that you spend time with the most. Being pure in that. Even, you know, sometimes I tell God this, God, if I'm sinning, just take it from me. Even if you have to take it from me violently, just take it from me. And I share that with people, and I had a friend, this was years ago, he said, man, I'm just gonna throw away my computer. I said, why? He said, man, because every time I go on there, like I go to the website and I don't want to push enter, but the devil's like, do it. He said, I see the devil. He's like that Tom and Jerry stuff. He says, it happens to me. I said, man, it's practice. It's every day getting victory. It's every day when you come up to that place where it's yeah, I should do it, or no, I shouldn't do it. No, yeah. Once you win that victory, once you beat, God will give us tests, you guys, and if we don't pass the test, guess what? We're going to take the test again. He'll give us a test. We don't pass it, we're going to take it again. Pass the test. Pass it. I'm going through the life of David. I'm sorry, am I going overtime? Just a little bit, really quick. I'm going over the lifestyle of David, King David. And David, there was a time where he was going to kill King Saul, and he was like, no, I'm not going to do it. He cut off part of his robe. The next chapter, David wants some food, and he goes and he sends his people to go see this man who owns a wealthy man. And the man's like, what? What do you mean you want my food? What do you mean you want my leftovers? No way, who's David? Blah, blah, blah. And David gets mad. And so in one chapter, he's like, has mercy and doesn't want to kill King Saul. But the next chapter, he wants to go and get revenge. He gets angry. And so God puts a test in front of him. He passes it. And then God says, you know what? I'm still going to test you. And he almost does it. He even says, tomorrow at this time, his whole family is going to be wiped out. His livestock, everything. God gave him a test, and he almost didn't pass it. Guess what? The next chapter again, he gets a chance to kill King Saul, and boom, he doesn't do it. God will test us, you guys, and tests will come, and tests will come. You got to pass the test. Pass the test of purity. Pass the test in your mind, your thoughts, your heart, soul. Get with each other and be relational. Cool. Awesome. I'm done.